So as you follow along to this routine, all our sticks that we use are color coded. And if you buy yours off of Amazon or Temu or wherever you buy your tools, if you bought the same ones, they obviously don't come color coded. So I'm just gonna show you and explain which are which, just so that you know. So we don't use these first two because they're too big to use for anything, so you can just set those aside, because in most of my videos, we don't use them. And so you're left with these. So in this order, you can look, and it basically goes in this order from biggest to smallest: green, blue, white, yellow, pink, and black, down to the smallest one. So for today's class, I'm going to be using this color palette. For paint color number 1, I'm using Craft Smart Sailing Sky. For paint color number 2, I'm using Craft Smart Muted Aqua. For paint color number 3, I'm using Craft Smart Beach Glass. For paint color number 4, I'm using Deco Art Americana Sage Mint. For paint color number 5, I'm using Craft Smart Sage Green. And for paint color 6, I'm using Deco Art Dazzling Metallics in the color Berry. Okay, so now we're gonna get started on the flower. So for the first step, we're gonna take the blue stick with paint color 1. And you're going to put this dot right above this little white dot here on top.
What number did you use?
1.
So you're just gonna go off here. All right.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly, the smaller end, with paint color 2. So to make sure our design is symmetrical, we have to get especially the beginning row, as symmetrical as possible. So there's like a technique I like to use to make sure that I get it pretty symmetrical. So you're gonna put 1 dot anywhere around the middle dot.
Are we using the big end or the little end?
Smaller end. Smaller end of the pink twirly.
Okay.
Of number 2?
Yes. So you're gonna place 1 dot anywhere around the middle dot. Then you're going to look right across from it and place a dot there. Then you're going to find the center of those 2 and put it to the side like this. And then 1 more dot across from that one, so that you get these 4 dots like north, south, east, west. Okay, once you have these 4 guiding dots, you're going to put 1 dot in between them, in between the gaps, so you should have 8 dots all the way around. And then once you have these 8 dots, you're going to go in between 1 more time, so you should have 16 dots all the way around.
Mine's already upside. Yeah.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly again, but we're going to use the bigger end with paint color 3. And we're going to place these dots kind of like in between, but above the ones we just did. So you don't want to put it above the other dot like this, but in between. Yes. Okay, next step, we're going to take the white twirly, the bigger end, and we're going to use paint color 6. And we're going to do the step we just did once more, all the way around. So placing dots in between, but above.
Same color?
Paint color 6.
Oh, gold. And the big end, you said?
Yes.
And we're putting between all of these?
Yeah.
Between the last row that we just did.
Okay, next step, we're going to use the pink stick with paint color 5. And we're going to put these dots, just like we did on the last row, in between but above, but you're going to skip a gap. So you should have 8 of these. Instead of 16, we should have 8 of
Wait, you
these.
said pinks?
Pink stick, yes.
That's a small one, okay.
Don't use that end. Leave the pink top. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So, and what color is this? I'm sorry.
Five.
That's the big one, right?
Okay, next step, we're going to take the pink twirly with paint color 4. And we're going to walk the dots. So using the bigger end of the pink twirly, you're going to place a dot above, like this, or below, however way you're looking at it. Then you're going to switch to the smaller end, dip in the paint, and then you're going to walk the dots around without re-dipping, and then re-dip, and then you're going to do the other half.
Okay, I see. I think.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the white twirly, bigger end with paint color 1. And we're gonna place this dot in between our walking the dots like this.
I don't know.
If you don't have any room, you can just skip this step.
I'll make them. So you use color number 1, you said?
Yes.
With the big dot, big end?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink stick with paint color 6.
Pink one, that's right?
Pink stick with paint color 6.
Okay.
And we're going to put it in between our walking the dots again.
Wait, pink color stick.
Above the dots you just.
Yeah, well, what's pink?
Oh, yeah.
Pink one's pink.
The little, the skinny one right here.
Oh, there you go. Okay, now what we're doing what?
Mine is way too big.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink stick again with paint color 2. And we're going to put it above the dot we just did, like this.
Above the dot we just did.
Clothing, so I don't.
Oh, okay.
Swishes. I wish I had time to do it at home. It's nice. Didn't they have a stick and all the stinking cold? That place wasn't closed. Yeah, but then I get
And orange.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the pink twirly with paint color 3, and we're going to walk the dots. So
Big end or the small end?
bigger end, start with the bigger end for this first dot, then you'll switch to the smaller end, dip, and then walk the dots around.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't do it right.
this is number 3.
Yes,
So split, I'm sorry, the bigger dot first and then switch to the smaller dot.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Because they do.
Okay, next step,
Aye,
we're gonna take the pink twirly with paint color 4, and we're gonna use the bigger end. So bigger end for this first dot of the walking the dots, but instead of switching to the smaller end to continue walking the dots, you're just going to re-dip with the bigger end and walk the dots.
Okay.
I have to listen to that one again, but I'll keep it up.
I haven't used it. looks good though.
Yeah.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the white twirly
Yep, white twirly,
with paint color 6,
paint color 6.
and we're going to use the bigger end for this first dot, and then you'll switch to the smaller end to walk the dots.
Okay. Wait. Big end to the middle dot, and then walk the dots a little smaller.
Okay, next step, we're gonna take the blue twirly with paint color 5, and we're gonna use the bigger end for the first dot, and then you'll also re-dip the bigger end and walk the dots with the bigger end.
So it's all with the big one.
Yes.
This is just more stable for me. I don't know.
Okay, so now we're gonna continue and we're going to do the stem of the flower.
Yes.
So we're going to need the pink stick, the yellow stick, and the pink twirly tool.
Pink stick
And
Pink
and the pink twirl.
Okay.
Pink, yellow, and pink. Okay.
Okay, so you guys should have gotten a tray with 3 colors. Right now we're going to use the green paint. So using the pink stick, so you're going to find in between which 2 petals you want to start your stem. So you're going to take the pink stick, dip it in your green paint, and just place it in between whichever petals you want your stem to start from.
Can you show me the one that you've already finished again? real
Yeah.
quick?
Okay.
Okay, so just
Oh,
Do green like this.
green.
So you're going to start with the pink stick.
And we use this pair?
Yes,
Oh, was that supposed to be the yellow one?
pink.
Okay, for that one?
Yeah. Okay, next you're going to take the yellow stick.
Oops.
Well,
Once you have that first dot, then you're going to take the yellow stick and you're just going to continue your stem. Just re-dipping and placing dots. You can make it as curved as you want or as straight as you want. Just continue down. To about this much. So you don't want to go all the way down to the rock because we're going to have grass here. So just about that much. Okay, now we're going to take the pink twirly, the smaller end, with that same green paint. And you're just going to put small dots kind of like in between them like this.
Did you say the big end or the small end?
Small end. Okay, now we're going to do the little leaves on the stem. These are optional, you don't have to do them if you don't want to. We're gonna take the white twirly, smaller end, bigger end of the white twirly, with that same green paint. And you're just going to start at the top of the leaf and drag towards the stem. Then you're gonna start the same one and then drag the other way towards the stem in kind of a leaf shape, like that.
Yeah, just like that.
Just like that, she says.
Yeah, just like that.
Okay, now we're gonna move on to the grass. So you're gonna take one of your sponge brushes and you're going to dip it into your green paint, not too much, just the tip. And you're just going to basically dab around and make the grass. You can make it completely flat or you can try and give it some hills. And you're going to cover just a tiny bit of that bottom or that last dot of your stem. So make sure you're not going like this, swiping, because then it's not going to look nice. Make sure you're just dabbing. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the clouds. So you're going to take your other sponge brush and you're going to take a little bit of the blue paint in your palette. And you're just going to also dab in, just make like a little cloud on either side of your flower.
I'll do it. I don't have real names, I just have to do it on.
And then to add a little bit more color, you're going to grab just a little bit of the white in your palette, just like the corner, and you're going to just kind of blend it into your cloud, just to add a little bit of color.
Lid's not on.
Easier to do the bottom part of the leaf first. Now I'm going to the branch, right?
Okay, so here's another optional thing you can add. You can add either like a little lavender like this if you have purple in your color palette, or I can come pour you some purple into the palettes, or you can add like little daisies like this on the grass. So I'll show you how to do both. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the daisies. So I'm going to take the white twirly bigger end, and I'm going to use the green in my palette. So you're going to start in the grass here, and you're going to drag up one way, and then start in the same spot and make just a little bit longer drag on the other side like this. Okay, so there's your little stem. Now we're gonna move on to the flower part. So you can pick out two colors from your color palette, one as the center of the flower and another color for the petals. We're going to use the blue twirly, the bigger end for the petals and the inside of the flower. So first you're going to use your center of the flower color, so not the petal color, and you're just going to put it about that far away from the tip of your stem. Well, whatever color you want.
Oh, I'm sorry? Oh, absolutely, thank you. No. That would be weird.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be good. Except that doesn't go with mine.
Which one did you use for the white dots?
This right here,
Yeah.
the blue twirly bigger end,
And is it the large one or the little one?
larger end.
Okay, of course, I forget that.
Okay.
Okay, so once you have the insides of your flowers, then you're going to switch over to your petal color. And you're going to place
Same end or different?
same end, and you're going to place two on either side of your center. Okay? So you have 3 dots like in a row like this. Petal color, inside, petal color. And then you're just going to put 2 dots on either side. So 2 dots there and 2 dots on the other side.
This is the big end or the small end?
Big end.
Okay.
So this also depends on what size flower you want. You can go and make a smaller one after this one. You can use like the pink twirly smaller end for the stem, and then like the white twirly bigger end for the petals and such to make a smaller flower. Or you can go ahead and make a bigger flower and use bigger tools. And then if you'd like, you can go back with your sponge that you used for the grass and kind of blend in a little bit of that beginning stem so that it looks just a bit more natural. Okay, so now I'll show you how to do the lavender. I'm going to do it on a separate sheet of paper because I don't want one on my flower. So we're going to take the blue twirly bigger end with your green color that's in your palette, and you're just going to do a drag straight up. So you're going to start here in your grass and just go straight up. And you might want to retrace it once or twice to make sure it's nice and long.
And where are you going to do it on your picture?
Hmm?
Where are you going to do that on your picture?
You can do wherever you want.
Okay.
Okay, so now you're going to switch to your lavender color. It doesn't have to be purple, it can be any other color that you have on your palette. And you're going to use the blue twirly bigger end. And you're going to place a dot right on the tip of your drag. Then you're going to re-dip and put 2 on either side, like this. Then you're going to re-dip, and then you're almost going to kind of like walk the dots along the stem so that it gets smaller, and you're going to do that on both sides. Like that. And this last part is optional. It'll just help make your lavender look better if you want it to. You're gonna use the yellow twirly smaller end and just kind of extend the little petals just a little bit towards the stem like this.
So you're not dipping it, you're just kind of blowing. Oh, there you go, that's good.
And for the last step, if you want, you can use the yellow stick and overlap your center dot on your flower just to add a little bit of color.
Ooh, yellow stick.